When ripping open a pack, most of us kind of scan through those first 7 cards in a pack just quickly, get them out of the way because we're looking for that reverse slot to see if that SIR, illustration rare, full art, whatever we're chasing is sitting there. And a lot of times the rest of the cards just kind of get put off to the side, never to be thought of again. Who cares about these things? They're worthless, right? What if I told you you can make money selling those cards? And I'm gonna show you the exact formula for how you can do that. We'll go through the entirety of my formula that makes sure that I make money on every card sale that I have. But first, my name is Coda, I own Coda's Collectibles, and I have restarted my TCG business in January after taking some time off, and we are hitting the ground running. If you enjoy talking about business stuff, talking about Pokemon, or just simply talking about editing in general, please let me know in the comments below, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We have hit 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That is such an insane number, especially for the very long gap that I had between videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Enough with the pleasantries, on to the bulk. So bulk cards, usually pretty cheap. A lot of people consider them relatively worthless unless you're collecting the cards, the art themselves, but there is a way to make money off of them. These numbers will not blow you away. You will not be looking at this at the end of the day and think, wow, I can be rich off this. But enough work, enough grinding, you can use this to really build up your business, or at least fill the gaps if you're like me and more into grading and that kind of stuff. So let me show you how I have found my price floor and how you can work towards finding your price floor to make sure that you're maximizing your bulk, selling as much as you can of it and making profit every time. First, we need to figure out what we're buying the bulk for. Now, a lot of times you can find bulk pretty cheap. If you have someone that you know that rips a lot of packs and just is chasing those cards, those SIRs or whatever, you can probably get their bulk for really cheap, if not free. But I realize that's not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna have access to that kind of stuff. So let's go over some pricing. We're gonna be using the TCG Bulk Kings price chart to give us an estimate on what bigger companies are spending on bulk. Now, as you can see here, TCG Bulk Kings is paying $10 per 1,000 common and uncommon bulk cards. So we're coming out to about a penny each. But for their rares, they're paying about 3 cents a piece. So we're going to call an average. We'll say we'll use an in-between of 2 cents per card for our cost basis. This is the rate that I try to buy bulk at. I have been lucky enough to find reverses and stuff mixed into other bulk for cheaper. So that'll happen occasionally, but for now we're going to focus on what is like the baseline, what is like the basic cheap card. So 2 cents, we'll call it right in the middle. Where can we make money on this? So to find our cost basis, we need to figure out what it costs us to buy the card and to ship it. So we know our cards are going to cost 2 cents. Now we need stamps. Stamps today, as of 10:40 p.m. it is late, on February 22nd, 2026 in the United States is 78 cents per stamp. So obviously when we're shipping stuff out, we need to pay for postage. So that's going to go into our cost basis. Now for me, I like using sleeves and team bags to put my stuff together. So we're going to use my cost basis for that. I have a vendor here that is a BCW dealer, and I'm able to get them really, really cheap. So the cost of the team bag and sleeve together is about a penny. So we're gonna call it a penny for both of those combined. For all these numbers, you will have to estimate based on the product you're getting. I'm giving you what I use, and all the links to the envelopes and everything else that I'm gonna show you in a minute will be in the description below. I will actually put it there this time. I realized for the pre-grading video, I didn't put the tool there, that centering tool, but that is also now there. So check that out as well. Now, top loaders. I use top loaders for these cheaper cards because I don't want to have something that's just loosely in a sleeve in a team bag. I think it looks unprofessional. Your results may vary. You may choose to do it that way, but for me, it's worth the 7 cents I pay per top loader to make sure that that is going into making sure everything looks good, professional, safe. I want my customer to have a really good experience, and it's worth it. Remember, we're building a brand here. We're building recognition. We're building a good camaraderie with people so they come back and continue shopping with us when they get picked from anyone on TCG Player. If you don't have access to someone off the bat with top loaders and that kind of stuff for these cheaper wholesale prices, talk to your local game store. Ask who they get their stuff from, and they can usually hook you up. That's how I got mine. And my process is card and sleeve, sleeve and top loader in the team bag wrapped up. It gives it waterproof, keeps it nice and safe, and I think that's really important. You don't have to do it this way, but I recommend using that kind of stuff because, again, it looks professional. So now that we have everything packed up, we need to print out our packing slip. I would heavily recommend at some point when you can getting an EcoTank printer because it's going to save you so much on printing. You can get these things down to a fraction of a penny per printed sheet. It is so much better. I am just now getting one I was using 4x6 labels as the packing slip, which works completely fine. And if you have a thermal printer, you can, but I wanted to get something a little more professional. So I just picked up a printer. It's on its way. So I will have that one also in the description. Thanks to Pokepaster for letting me know which one he got and recommending one. It seems to be working well. So assuming you have some kind of printer or you're using a thermal label, you need to be able to print out your packing slip. So that's going to be another penny added on to our cost basis. Now everything's packed up. We have our packing slip. We need to put it in something so we can ship this thing off. And that is going to be inside of an envelope, a windowed envelope, preferably if you are using the printed packing slip on a normal printer, because you can do the little trick where the address on the packing slip shows in the window. Saves you from writing anything down, saves you from having to print out yet another thermal label and write stuff down, which is what I was doing, costing myself double thermal labels every time. So you're gonna wanna get these. This is the one I get. This is off Amazon. It's the Amazon super cheap basic. So these are also gonna cost us 4 cents per if you buy the number that I get, which is the 500 pack. I don't know why I paused. It's the peel and seal one. It's the only one on that listing. So number 10, envelopes, 4 cents a piece. Now we have everything packed up, and our cost basis to get everything packed up, including the card, is 93 cents. For rares and reverse holos, it might be 94 cents. For random commons and uncommons, it'll be 92 cents. But we're working on a middle ground, so we're calling it 93 cents. That is everything packed up, ready to go. Can put it in the mail tomorrow, and it will be to its customer quickly. And oh, where the fees stopped, but they are not. We have to pay our marketplace fees. We're using TCG Player. That's what I'm using because I've been using it for a while. I really enjoy using it. I feel like it's a little simpler than eBay because I don't have a scanner. If I get a scanner, that may change, but we have to pay our marketplace and transaction fees. So we're gonna go through these. I'm a pro seller on there because I use the mass price tool, and I am working on getting the TCG Pro site ready so you can get stuff for a little bit cheaper than market. I get to pay less fees, everybody wins. More on that later, but for now, we're gonna look at the fees for the marketplace seller that is pro. For me, if you are not a pro seller, look at the marketplace seller fees for you. They are slightly different. They come out to about around the same number, but just remember when I'm doing this, you'll have to do it for the marketplace seller if you're not a pro, of course. For my marketplace fee, it is 9.25%. And for the pro seller fee, which is the fee that I have to pay to use the mass price tool and to use the pro seller site, it is 2.5%. And the transaction fee, which is the fee for every transaction on marketplace, is 2.5% plus 30 cents per transaction. I know it's a lot of numbers, but it is going to be so helpful in the long run. And I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can for you by using the example of this order. Now, this kind individual bought a night stretcher from Ascended Heroes from me. One card, 25 cents paid, plus the $1.31 for shipping. I do have free shipping above $5. A lot of people do. It's kind of like industry standard, though not everyone does it. That's what I do. So above $5, I do have free shipping, but anything under $5, it is on the customer to pay the shipping of $1.31. That is the baseline TCG Player shipping. You can make it more if you want to. I don't, but it is completely up to you. The total paid out to me after the shipping was $1.56. And you can see the fee amount there is 52 cents subtracted from it, leaving me with a net amount of $1.04. Now, going back to our price basis we had a minute ago, that means that from that $1.04, I had to take away 93 cents for the card and all the shipping supplies, leaving me with a 11-cent profit. I told you at the beginning, don't expect to be blown away by these numbers. This is slow, meticulous, grinding kind of work, but it can be a foundational point for your business, especially if you're coming into it with little to no money and little to no access to anything else. Grading times are taking forever. Singles are going up. Bulk is the way for a lot of people. So the way they get to this 52-cent number is this, and I'm going to show this right here. You have these magical numbers that are going to show up here to make this super, super simple for you. So my marketplace commission fee is 9.25%, meaning I need to multiply this $1.56 by 0.0925. Now that we have this number, we're going to round it up because that's what I like to do just to keep myself safe. And it seems like TCG Player does as well. So we're gonna say that is 15 cents. Now I have the pro fee, which is also gonna be 2.5%. And that is still using the whole number. We're not subtracting the amount of fees taken away before we multiply this number. Every number is multiplied by the 1.56. It's late, I don't know how to say words. So we take our 1.56 and we multiply it by 0.025. And again, we have another fractional number. We're gonna round that up, it's gonna be 4 cents. Now the transaction fee is simply 2.5% plus 30 cents. So we're gonna just say it's 0.04 again, it's 4 cents plus 30 cents. So we're gonna call it 34 cents here. And you're left with this number, which is actually a cent lower. So actually sometimes apparently they do round up and round down to whatever the closest is, but I like to use the overestimation on assuming everything's gonna be rounded up. It says 1.03 for me. It's 1.04 on the net amount on TCG Player. The math still works. It's just simply rounding up versus rounding down. I want to play it safe. So at minimum, even if it's my math working out and everything's rounded up, I'm making 10 cents per 25-cent card, meaning I do have some wiggle room if I decided to drop it down and sell some cheaper cards. And I actually do. I used to have a 25-cent floor. I actually changed it recently to 22 cents. This is simply to get more cards moving, and it has worked. And I've had plenty of cards that I definitely hadn't sold yet that had been sitting for a bit that did start moving once I dropped that fee. I still want to make sure that I'm making a few cents per card. I wouldn't drop it down to what my baseline is, which is actually about 15 to 16 cents. I won't go that low. And my time is not worthless. Again, these are not crazy numbers, but if you just do this over time and just keep going, get your systems better, make everything smoother, make things take less time, this is a great way to kind of foundationally set up your business for success. And having this price floor makes things work as they scale up, as you get more bigger card orders. You may have to add an extra ounce stamp. You may have to add a non-machinable stamp for certain things, but you can still scale it up and make profit the whole way. There is a way to get up to 51 cards into a plain white envelope, which is crazy to me, and it saves you so much from having to send stuff in a bubble mailer. I'm gonna link that video here. It's from RNG Games. Fantastic guy, love this channel, so inspirational to me when I first started mine. Fantastic way to save yourself on shipping, pack a lot of bulk cards into one plain white envelope to ship on its way safely. And that's it. That's how you set your price floor. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully the math explanation worked for you, because again, it is really annoying. It is a lot of numbers. I didn't do great in math when I was a kid, so I don't really love doing it, but I want to make sure I'm making money, not losing money on orders. And the people you see shipping 1-cent cards and using just the basic shipping price, they're not making money. They're wasting money and wasting time. Hopefully that helped you guys. This was one of the most annoying things to try to figure out when I first started. So hopefully for those of you that they're just starting or have been around for a bit and want to learn more stuff, this helped you a lot. Just as a heads up, this Friday is Pokemon Day. So I'm going to be live streaming the announcement, the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents. That's the word. It's late. I'm really tired. I'm going to be streaming the Pokemon Presents on Friday. Hopefully you'll be there. I would love for you guys to join. I'm super excited about what I think is going to be Gen 10 announced. Maybe new sets. Maybe we'll see what this 30th celebration set is. It's going to be so cool. So hopefully you'll join me for that. Again, if you have any questions about anything, please let me know in the comments. I love talking to you guys there. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 now. Let's go crazy. Let's get there. That'd be sick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.